Okay, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video of the Ylands series. As I've told you guys in the comment section down below, this will be a post-commentary video where I'm going to be going over a couple of topics, I think. I've got a piece of paper here in my hand where I'm going to be basically having a few points noted down to know exactly what order I decide I'm going to talk about these things in. Basically, the first thing that I do want to get into before we even talk about the important stuff is the things that you guys need to know about, and that is that I appreciate the support that you guys have been showing on the previous episodes in this Wildlands series. We've gotten a ton of likes, we've gotten quite a bit of feedback in terms of your comments and stuff, and I do appreciate all of that. And we've gotten so many new subscribers. I mean, oh my god. Let me just flash it up on screen real quick for you guys. There's gonna be a screenshot where it's gonna be, oh my god, when I saw that pop up on screen, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my god, we've gotten about 1,000 views on the first 2 episodes. It's getting there. It's getting there. By the time this video goes out, you will be seeing that metric. Probably when you watch the videos, it'll be quite a satisfying number of views. I actually do like that you guys are enjoying the series. I'll be going over quite a few plans for the future, because I think once we sort of hash out all the beginning setup guides that I can sort of give to you guys, once I show you how you build a house, how you build a ship, how you build a nice efficient farm, once I do all those things, there's not going to be much else for me left to do. So I think what I'm going to suggest to you guys is not only to leave comments on this video, but on any other video with any sort of ideas that you guys have about what you would want to see next, what you'd enjoy to see, what kind of format you want the videos to take, stuff like that. Because obviously, like I say, it's not exactly a flawless system that I've kind of got going on here. It kind of depends what you guys will want to see next. I think, my opinion, I think that one of the good things about Ylands is that it's got quite a bit of customizable building when it comes to its elements. One of the things that I actually did enjoy doing was trying to lay out this place. Unfortunately, though, as I have noticed, and as you'll probably see from when I start building here in these about 5-6 hours of raw recording that we've got going, that I've compressed into about 35 minutes, I think, is the actual video length. But yeah, when you'll see this, it's got quite a bit of glitchiness involved into it. You'll see that sometimes the cave shows up as being flooded. Sometimes you'll see the cave emitting light when it shouldn't be emitting light. There's quite a bit of glitchiness involved with this place, and unfortunately, that's why I've decided that in the future episodes I'm going to be moving away from this place. The only real actual benefit to this place is going to be that it gives me access to a port on the main island, where if I do die, I can always come back to this place, and then obviously we go back to doing the important stuff. I guess I could do this as a hardcore. If I die, I'm dead. I'm not gonna go and make a new character and build on the same save file. I could do something like that, but I think for the purposes of finishing the tutorialization, showing you guys all those nice cheats, exploits of how to get a good farm going, a good ship going, all that kind of stuff, I'm gonna basically be ignoring death. But when it comes to later on, I might just make it into a hardcore. If the character dies, then we kind of have to figure out something else. Who knows? Because the beginning portion is kind of boring, but it might be cool to just do something like that. You have to give me input on that one and tell me what you guys would enjoy to see. Definitely. One idea that I did have for the series itself is to make it a build of the week type series. So it would only be about 1 to 2 videos a week, because from all the editing, the raw footage having to be recorded, things like that, having to come up with a plan for the build, because it'd be one of those situations where I'll give you the exact number of materials that I used, the exact layout. I'll give you like a plan, like an architectural sketch sort of thing. So it will be quite in depth. but obviously that's going to take some time, so I don't see myself on my own being able to put out a ton of videos in that format. It's just going to be a bit unreasonable. I don't think I can pull that off. Maybe I can pull it off sometimes, but when it comes to more interesting builds, more fun stuff, I don't think that could actually be something that I can pull off, simply because it's going to be too much work, and I have other engagements like I'll be telling you guys shortly about. Basically, this is going to be probably the last episode before New Year's, because I had planned to get this video out a lot sooner. The only problem is that all my plans recently have been not going according to plan. For example, yesterday I dropped my car off to get it, its check done, change some brake fluids and things, make sure that the tires are okay, everything like that. So I kind of did that. I only do it like once or twice a year anyway, but basically I was expecting it to only take a couple of hours. Turns out it took all day. I got stuck in traffic because of an accident that happened in town, and then half of the town's traffic just got completely congested. So I was stuck in a taxi for 2.5 hours, which completely ruined my schedule of uploading a video, because I got home at about half 7 o'clock, I think, in the afternoon. At that point, I wasn't alone anymore. There were other people in the house. So unfortunately, that was kind of what happened with that. But like I said, with the videos, this might be the last one. I'll try to get another video out to you guys before I leave, but tomorrow is the only day that I have left to do anything, and obviously I'm already putting out a video for today. So if I do have time tomorrow, then that'll be that. But if I don't, unfortunately, this is going to be the last sort of episode until Christmas and New Year, in which case I will tell you guys to have a nice holiday period. But because this is sort of a family thing for me, and I'm going to see my family, it involves a lot of travel. I'm basically going to be there sorting out other issues as well. So it's pretty much personal problems. I can't really not do any of that. So hopefully you guys will understand. You'll decide to stick around with the Ylands series. But it also goes beyond the Ylands series. Because while I was very hyped for the game, I was keeping up with the news about the game. I was really expecting it to come out. I do want to post videos about it, but I do want you guys to know that I'm not exactly a one-trick pony when it comes to, putting out videos. I've done videos on other games in the past, some that actually have had quite a bit of success. For example, a Dragon Age build video and some other videos like that. They actually have had quite a lot of views, that I'm actually kind of proud of those videos, if I can be honest about that. But the things that I'm getting at is that this is going to be about a 2.5 week period where I'm not going to be able to do any sort of videos, simply because my PC is a very bulky machine. It's a very, very powerful machine. So as you can imagine, I'm not able to carry it along with me, because I need a dual monitor setup. I have my keyboard, my mouse, all my external hard drives, my condenser microphone that's got a pop filter, that's got all this kind of stuff. So I've got a pretty professional setup going on, and I'm not really able to carry that around and produce videos. I did think about scheduling uploads, but I unfortunately didn't have the time. I mean, I didn't have the time to even do the uploads that I had planned to do. So doing any extra content was just out of the question, at least for the time being, which is a bit of a shame, I'll be honest, but there's not much I can do about that. Unfortunately, I did try to sort of change it or do anything in my power to make sure that I'm able to do as much as I possibly can, because I do enjoy doing it. Like, let's not get that twisted. I definitely do enjoy doing this. So, there's that. But as I said, leave me your suggestions when it comes to what kind of video uploads you'd want to see. Do you want to see more build videos? Do you want to see more exploration videos? Do you want me to just get on a ship and then go to all the different islands and tell you guys about all the biomes that I know about? Maybe explore what kind of creatures we have going. Maybe we have some bosses in the game, not that I've seen, but maybe there are. That's kind of what I'm saying. So let me know, do you want me to focus more on building, or do you want me to focus more on exploration in the coming episodes of the series, once we get all the basic stuff out of the way, like building a house, building a farm, making sure I have a ship? Once all of that's done, where do you want it to go next? That is the question that I have for you guys for this video. Leave that in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to take your opinions into account, but also I'll probably be replying to some of you guys. And if I do take any of your ideas, obviously I will be shouting you out in the video, making sure that people know I got the idea from you specifically and not just fucking taking the credit for it. Now, we're getting into a point in this video where I discover a glitch. It's this two items being put in the same space, same inventory spot. Even though the other item is still technically taking up an inventory spot, it's just not showing up in its proper spot. Because if you can look there, there's an S to the side of the brick, but the brick's been put into the adjacent inventory square. The way you fix this is you back out of the game. So you'll see me go in here, I go into quit, and then I come back into the game, and basically it's fixed. So if you were wondering about that, if you had that problem and you weren't exactly sure how to fix it, this is how you fix it. You just restart the game and it's fine. Now, I'll be complaining a bit. I don't want to use the word complain, honestly, but I think it fits. I want to complain about how the terraforming mechanic works. So when I take dirt and I place it on the ground, as you can see in this video, there's something that happens where there's a tearing effect. There's going to be a lot of light shining through all the edges of the builds. It started to happen all over the island. I've not had it happen on any other my saves. I've not had it happen before this point. So I'm guessing that once you have this glitch going on, I think it affects the entire island. I hope that doesn't affect the entire save, because at that point I would have to basically abandon it and start over again. I mean, I might do that just to be safe, because I'm not so far along into this that I would be, you know, completely unable to make up the difference essentially. So I guess that's another question for you guys. Would you want me to basically make a new save, avoid making this mistake, and then try and replicate what I've done here? I mean, it would take me slightly longer, but I think it's kind of the mentality of, do you want me to be safer rather than sorry, or do you just want me to get on with it, and then we're gonna try and ignore this problem that's going on? Maybe we can talk to the devs, make them aware of the issue, stuff like that. I'll let you guys, you know, come up with the answer on that one. I did send them feedback on this. I sent them a screenshot and I detailed kind of what's going on with the visual bug. I'm not sure if other people have done this. I've not kept up with what other YouTubers have done on the topic of Ylands. I've just simply not had the time, unfortunately. But like I've been saying, there's a couple of issues kind of going on here, but at the same time, at least I have a plan of what I want to do with it in the future. So hopefully, you know, you guys have some feedback on that. But like I said, what I've been building here is simply just a port area where I'm gonna have some storage space, my crafting stations, and where I'll leave some boats. That's all I want to do in this place. I don't want to build some elaborate house. I don't want to do any of that. The only thing that I'm focused on is getting the bare minimum to be able to safely explore and have a sort of a checkpoint for any new characters that come into this save file. I think that's pretty much all I have to talk about with regards to the video, with regards to my plans for the holidays, and basically what's kind of be happening after I come back. So let's actually transition into talking about something that's actually been on my mind quite a lot lately. I wasn't aware of this issue when it began, but definitely as the controversy got louder and louder, I was made aware of it myself, and I do want to kind of pitch in my opinions on the whole EA Battlefront, the Star Wars controversy about the microtransactions and things like that. I kind of do want to, well, I do want to touch on that. I'm very proud of the community in general, like the gaming community, for making so many important people outside of the gaming industry have to take a stance on what's going on and issue a statement. That's something that is massive. It's not necessarily massive per se from every gamer's point of view, but from the point of view of the officials involved outside of the gaming industry, this is massive. They don't really care about games, but the fact that they have to talk about games is huge. It's a huge win for us, and I'm really happy about it. I think a lot of people are happy about it, but at the same time, I do want to say that this is not something that we can just forget about. It's not something that we can just let go. We have to keep going, we have to keep going, and we have to keep going. That's kind of the thing that I've been saying. We cannot afford to let up on this issue. We have to keep pounding that issue in until it's painfully loud and clear to everybody involved that we're not going to let this slide, and we're not going to let any of this slide any other time, because it's already been said by I think it was somebody on Wall Street or something else, that basically, yeah, this is something that's happened. It was an issue, but it's not going to be issue. It's not going to be an issue in the future. People are still going to buy EA games. People are still gonna. It's not going to affect them in the long run, and we have to make them. It has to be a long-lasting effect on their stock. We have to essentially keep up the boycott, because they're going to keep trying to shove the microtransactions, they're going to keep trying to shove the shady business practices back down our throats, and we have to say no. We said no once, we're going to keep saying no. We're not going to buy any of your games until they're at the quality that we deserve, and that's the only games that we'll buy, because they had one failed launch, but they need to have a string of bad launches like this most recent Star Wars game has been. They need to lose the Star Wars licensing. They need to have a massive amount of blowback. It can't just be one failure, because one failure is not enough. Nobody in the business industry in general takes one failed product as a sign of a massive multi-billion, trillion, however many dollars EA has at its backing. They're not going to take one failed attempt as the company is now a complete failure. We need to keep banging on about this, and we need to keep making noise until they completely change their stance, and they're never going to bring it back. And even then, they're always going to try to bring it back. We always need to be on guard, because if there's one thing that I've learned in life, is that you can never trust a business. You can praise a business for making good business decisions, but at the end of the day, the one thing that we have to keep in mind is that they're all businesses and they're trying to make money. And businesses that are trying to make money do not have our best interests in mind. So, let me take one quick second to stop and say that this effect that's going on screen right now is what I was talking about when I was talking about the light sort of coming out from the cave, the glow that's causing this terrible screen tearing. I've turned off and on every single setting in the game settings that I have available to me. I've turned down the shadows, I've turned up the shadows, I've turned down the graphics, I've turned up the graphics. I've done everything possible to make sure that I can fix this, and it does not seem to want to fix itself. That's kind of why I was saying maybe if this is a problem that's going to persist across multiple islands, then maybe I should start over again. I want to hear you guys' feedback on this one. I'm not entirely sure what's kind of going on with that visual glitch, so hopefully if you guys have any sort of ideas on that, you can let me know. It's going to make my job a lot easier, knowing if basically if I should continue building in this place, or if you want me to start over again but do something something very similar to what I've done here. I mean, I think the strategy is very it's a very solid strategy. It's very easy to get yourself set up and do all this stuff. I think honestly, if you do want to get set up a lot easier than what I've done here, because I've had to essentially replace all of my crafting stations, the one thing that you can do is that you can make the deck, instead of making it out of stone like I was insisting on having it, you can just make it out of wooden desks, because wooden desks have been used by other YouTubers and other people playing the game as your initial foundation flooring. I myself have used logs in a different save file that I've done, but I think when it comes to being cost effective, using these stone slabs, plaques, I actually forgot what they call them, but using these stone foundations that I'm building, they're very cheap, because the stone chunks and the stones, I can easily get those. It's much harder to wait a couple of days for a tree to grow, and then to chop it down, to place another one, and to wait again. So when it comes to that kind of resourcing, it's a lot more finite, and you have to wait to replant it and to have it be conveniently close by to where you're doing. So it's not as great, but it's a lot easier if you want to build that platform much quicker. So anyway, let's move on to the basically the final sort of thing that I wanted to talk about, which is plans for the future that sort of extend beyond the immediate future of this Ylands series that just basically talks about the channel that I'm running on YouTube in general. I kind of do wanna tell you guys that I'm not sure that I want to be playing this game for too long. I think once I basically get done all my objectives that I want to get done in the game. So once I show you guys some cool house builds, some cool ship builds, some cool farm builds, I think that's pretty much going to be everything that I can sort of show you guys. I mean, I can continue on with mods. I can continue on with maybe doing more fashion things, like dressing up my character in different ways, stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure, but essentially once all that stuff is done, I'm gonna be moving on from this game, and I want you guys to know that up front, that that's what I'm gonna be doing. Now, one of the things that I've always been interested in and that I do keep track of very often is anime, because I'm a huge fan of animation in general. But with the one thing that I'm very excited about is that the Overlord series is getting its second season of the anime quite soon, literally next month at this point. We're not entirely sure when it's going to be coming out, but from what I've heard in general, it's going to be roughly around that time period. So if you guys want me to give my thoughts on the series when it comes out, the second season, I do own the manga that's going on right now. I do know what's happening in the light novels, and it's a series that I'm really a big fan of. I'm really excited about that, so I could cover that as topics in videos. If you guys do want me to do any of that, please let me know in the comment section down below as well. That would be much appreciated, you guys. And I think that's pretty much all the topics that I actually had to talk about. Unfortunately, because this video is such a long video and it was such a massive editing job to basically cut down 5 hours of raw footage, and then I would have to commentate over it, I didn't want to ramble on for too long. I think this kind of pace that I've kept up in the commentary is at least delivering enough information to you guys that you're gonna be at least inclined to follow it along to this point. I mean, I'm expecting that not everybody has been watching up to this point, but hopefully at least I didn't bore you guys too much with all the talking that's been going on while you watch me sort of build the base and do all this fun stuff while I was listening to music, you know, watching anime, stuff like that. I was basically doing it in the background because I thought this is very boring. I mean, imagine if you actually had to sit through about this would have been about 8 to 9 episodes worth with all the footage that I had. Imagine if this was episode 9 at this point, or episode 10, and this is all the progress that you saw. I think I would have been pissed, man. I would have been like, no, dude, you need to do more than this. This is not enough. So I kind of wanted to spare you guys that. So if I'm gonna be doing any sort of builds or anything like that in the future, episodes are not gonna be as fast paced, I guess, if you want me to say it that way, because I just want you guys to see the important stuff. Like, for example, I wanted to definitely show you guys this build that I had going on here for the blacksmith station, because I think this looks really nice, making it look more like a furnace. I definitely could have done something like a rounded dome, but I didn't want to go in too much detail because I knew this was going to be a temporary setup here that I'm doing, so I didn't want to go too crazy on the designs. But for anything in the future, I will try and make it look a lot more interesting than I've done with anything in this place in particular. Now, I'm not sure if I want to leave the rest of the episode as just blank audio, the ambient music that I've got going on that you probably have noticed. It's a very calming, nice, relaxing music that doesn't interfere too much with the commentary. I wanted to incorporate something that was very low impact. I didn't want it to take away your attention from what I was actually talking about, because there have been quite a few, at least to me in my mind, some very important topics being talked about. So hopefully you guys did kind of appreciate all that insight that was kind of going on there. Now, what I actually suppose I could talk about, since we got to it in this point in the video, this is a pre-built house. There is a chance, I will have to stress that very, very, very much. There's a chance of finding a house on the starter island. There's also a chance in what type of house you're going to find. You can either find a house that only has a couple of storage containers, like some sacks and whatnot, and a bed with maybe like a cooking station, something along those lines. Or you can find something that I found here, that is a fully furnished house with a rifle, with bullets, with hunting trophies, with all this kind of stuff. This was actually probably one of the better things. The only thing that it didn't have is that it didn't have a saw. There's a house that you can find, the one that I was talking about with the storage containers, the bed, and the cooking station. That's the one that I've seen most of the time that contains a saw, an iron saw. Which is, if you find that early on, so let's say that you spawn, you start walking in the left direction from your spawn, and you find that house that has the saw, then you're very, very lucky actually, because that saw is not a common spawn necessarily, because it highly depends on what kind of thing you're gonna get. So yeah, I think honestly though, that is all the stuff that I can talk about. I do have to apologize. I don't want to continue on rambling and repeating myself. There's not really anything else that I can specifically talk about, other than maybe once again remind you guys that I do sometimes, when I have the time, or when I have some. For example, let's say that I'm building farming materials for the Ylands series to do a build. I could probably be streaming that on Twitch, so you guys can come by, say hello, watch me sort of make progress, and then go ahead and watch that in the episodes. So that is something that can happen. I guess it depends on what you guys want to see. But as always, I'm gonna thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you'll watch the rest of this to kind of see where the building sort of ends off at. And then I'll see you guys in the future episodes of the Ylands series. Like I said before at the beginning of the video, I wish you guys to have a very, very good holiday period, and you know, a happy new year and all that, because I'm not entirely sure. I can't promise that I'll do any more videos before I leave, so I'll say it in this one just to be safe. And I will thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the future videos. Don't forget to leave a like and comment on all the questions that I've had in this video, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good day, guys. Peace out.